From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Beres here on a Tuesday. Good show on tap for you. We're going to talk about real estate and properties and what's being built in this great city, and not just Nashville, but the area around here, the whole mid-state. As you know, and we've talked about this before, that's why we keep doing shows on it. It's one of the hottest cities, one of the hottest regions in the country. People want to live here. The problem is, can you afford it? All right. And are you in a position now where you're looking to buy a place? Are you looking to sell a place? Are you looking just to move away? What are the hot areas to buy right now in terms of maybe more affordable, depending on what you're looking at? You can call in, ask any of these questions, 737-7587, as we talk about some of the latest developments and some new things being built that are kind of interesting. And we're going to talk about that this morning with Christie Wilson, real estate agent extraordinaire.
Good morning, sir.
How long have you been doing this again? I asked you last time. I know your father started the business and everything.
Right.
You learned at his elbow.
I learned from the best.
You learned from the master. You've been doing this for more than 2 decades?
Yeah, 23 years.
Wow.
In sales. But I did real estate appraisal when I did an internship at UT Knoxville as an appraiser.
It's like you're one of these rare people, kind of like me, that I think knew what you were going to do from the very beginning. How many kids go to college and they're still exploring and trying to figure out what they want to do? You always kind of had an inkling you wanted to go into real estate?
Yeah. Well, the Mary Well piece just fell apart. And no, I was kidding.
I was going to say.
No, okay. I'm just kidding.
That didn't work out.
That didn't work out. So I'm going to work for a living. And I've always loved real estate. When we were little, you know, Sundays we went to church, then went to Shoney's, then went home, read the paper, then we're going to go look at houses. We'd go to open houses, or my dad would have an open house. And I mean, this is when we're little,
you
like 5 or 6.
Firsthand. Yeah. Obviously, you loved and respect your dad, and so you saw what he did. You thought, that's kind of cool.
Right, right. Well, he didn't do selling, really. He was an educator and then an investor. So he started Continual Learning Institute, which is the state's #1 real estate school since he started it, and it still is.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so he was just a master instructor, motivator, just had a brilliant real estate mind and just a heart for people and having people be successful. So he gave that to me and my brother and sister, and you know.
Are your siblings in real estate as well?
My brother's in the title business, and my sister actually is a geologist. So she's in real estate, but she's in real estate.
The ground.
That's right.
Well, it's interesting too. You know, real estate. You talk to people and like, well, this person's in real estate, or he went into real estate. And if you live in the Nashville market, oh wow, you must be making hand over fist. I got to emphasize, real estate as an occupation, and you know, we don't want to get too off track here, is not for everyone. Obviously, like any job isn't for everyone, but it can be very competitive. There are plenty of people that have gone into real estate that have had a hard time making it.
Right.
Okay, and real estate is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
You are pretty much on call 24/7 when you're really, I don't know if you are anymore in your position, but you have to be, meaning that if someone wants to see a house Sunday night at 8 o'clock, if you want to sell the darn thing, you got to go. Well,
and as competitive as our market has been for the past 5 years, when that new listing comes up, you better be ready to go. And if you're with clients that day and a new listing comes up, make sure you have somebody who can help you out and get your client into that house.
Right.
Because there's certain price ranges that are still multiple offer within the first day, in the first hours. You know, most agents understand they need to give buyers a day to get in and to get enough offers to present to their seller. And this isn't every price range. This is the lower price point, you know, under 200, 300,000. They go like gangbusters like that. The normal, your mid-range real estate and your high-end real estate, we have some breathing room now. That has stabilized.
Has it? Okay.
Yeah. And so you can get in there, show your client, have time to talk about it. Well, I say that. I showed a farm this weekend out in Rutherford County, and my people were ready to make an offer Sunday night. They called me. I said, great, let's get together Monday morning. I called the agent. She said, we got 2 offers on it this weekend. And yeah, so you just don't know. You just don't know.
Wow. I mean, can't you tell by looking at a property sometimes with your background and experience, this baby's going to go fast?
Oh, absolutely.
You can pretty much tell. Now, a farm, maybe that's big, but I don't know how many acres we're talking about here. That's hard because there's only going to be a core group of people really interested in something like that, you would think. So maybe you'd think you'd have a little more time.
Because that one I was very surprised.
Yes, that one did surprise you. Most of the time you can tell, but sometimes it catches you off guard.
Right.
It just does seem like this in this day and age in certain markets that are very hot, that people list their homes and then they end up getting offers more than they listed.
That's right.
Does that mean they listed it for too low?
Or
what does that mean, kind of?
That is the definition of market value. You cannot price your property too low. If it's too low, there's going to be enough interest in it that drives that price up, and therein lies market value. So what a seller's willing to sell and a buyer's willing to buy without duress, and they come to that value.
But when you price it, aren't you trying to price it as close to what you think the actual value of the house is worth?
You want to nail it out the gate. If you overprice it, though, even in our hot market, it's still going to sit, because people understand, realtors understand, and we have the most educated buyer pool than we've ever had. There's so much information online. You can access sales, you can access the tax records to see what things are selling for. So I feel like we have a really educated buyer pool too, who some do overpay because of the rambunctiousness of the market, but for the most part, if the house will appraise, there's the fly in the ointment. You know, the appraiser, if someone's getting a loan, has to say, okay, this value is there for the bank to loan you the money.
Okay, and so when you do set the price, then you think you want to err on the side of maybe going less than not overpricing. It's better to underprice it than overprice it, because if you underprice it, like you said, people are going to come out and say, okay, well, let's bid, and it'll go past it.
Yeah, I try to stay on the Goldilocks method and say not too big, not too little, but just right. So not too high, not too low.
But if you can nail it, but you know, you don't always know for certain. I know you look at the comps around you and all that, right?
But what's frustrating is when you put something on the market and you think you've nailed it, and it sits and sits, and the market is telling you you're overpriced for some reason. So 3 things dictate value, okay? Price, condition, and location.
Okay.
You can't change your location, and that's why location is the most important thing. But price and condition, you can modify. You've got to fix something. If you're not selling, is it the price or is it the condition?
Okay.
And then you have to adjust accordingly if it's not selling.
Yeah. Do you have much of that happen?
It's starting now. We're really starting to see the market stabilize.
Okay, so again, when you say stabilize, just so I understand what that means, and we're going to get to phone calls here in a moment. Stabilize meaning what? Stabilize
meaning that things are staying on the market just a little bit longer.
Okay, meaning it's not so, because Rick was just saying in my ear, Nick, does that mean when you go look at a house, you got to be ready if you like it to make an offer, bam, right then when you're there? Or can you take the weekend to think about it and not worry someone's going to slide in underneath you? If you're working with a good realtor, that realtor will have talked to the listing agent, the agent who has it on the market. So say I'm representing a buyer, my buyer likes it, and I call that agent and say, hey, what's going on? Do you have any offers? How many people have looked at it? You sort of want to get a lay of the land to know if your people will have time. Okay. I mean, there's some, you know, it's going to go that first day. Okay. And if that's the case, I tell my buyers, if you want it, we need to do this today, make an offer
right now.
And typically, when does just so for a lot of people, they haven't been through it, when you're selling the house as the seller, you'll say, I'm going to take offers until this day and then I cut it off?
That's right.
Okay,
you can't, that's one strategy. So maybe you list something on a Thursday, and all offers will be accepted up until Monday morning at 10, presented at noon, and responses back at 5. Okay, so you cut it off at 10 in the morning on Monday. So that exposes the property to a ton of buyers who can come in, can sit down with their agent. The agent can work with them, and they can put something on there. And they know it's a multiple offer situation in all probability. Okay, but other strategy is they don't set that, and it's just like first come, first serve? That's right. And that kind of was what happened with the farm that you were talking about. That's right, exactly. That there wasn't a date, and you know, you thought, well, we'll try to, and they didn't make up their mind in time, but someone else slid right in. And then now the seller can decide, all right, I've got an offer on the place. Like we just sold my folks' house. I had been telling you about that in Eugene, Oregon. And you know, we got an offer, and when we got the offer, it was more than what we had asked. Yay, a little bit more. And so we said, oh, what the heck? We want to get this over with. But we could have waited. We could have said, well, let's just wait another week and take more, but this was the offer, so we just took it because I was sick and tired of dealing with it. Well, here's something that and I've been doing it so long, I just know this for fact, and it's also National Association of Realtor stats. Probably 9 times out of 10, your first offer is going to be your best offer. Is that right? It really is. You've put it out on the market. These buyers have been looking. They come into your property and they go, this is it. And they're willing to pay an appropriate price for it. And if a seller gets, Dad used to say, you know, hogs get fat, pigs get slaughtered. Or vice versa, or something like that. Yeah, so you know, you really need to listen to your agent and determine, is this right? Now, if it's a crazy lowball offer, and I've had offers for, golly, $150,000 less than asking, and I tell my sellers, we can make this work. And it's a slow negotiation, but sometimes you can make these ones which has a huge differential in it work if you're patient and you work it through.
It's really interesting what you said about the first offer coming through, and that's good to know for a number of reasons. But the worst nightmare would be to say, okay, let's just wait, and then that person goes away and you get less. And the point is, don't be greedy. If you get something right off the bat that you think is satisfactory to you, just go, because then you're thinking, well, I got that really fast, maybe we can get more. Then you get burned down the road because that person goes away. With me, I was just like, I want to get a fair price for everyone. I want to get out from this. And I'm glad you told me that, because in the back of my mind, I was like, if we had waited, this was money we were selling for my folks' retirement. And if I could have gotten them an extra 20 grand, that would have been nice. And so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that, but I'm also thinking, you know what, that first offer may have been the best one we were going to get.
Well, and if you guys were working with a realtor who was really good, who knew that market, and she said, this is a good offer. We're listing it here, which is a competitive price that we're putting at, and it went for more. You did the right thing.
Yeah, and I trusted her. I think in fact, she reminded me a bit of you.
Oh,
she really did, and that's high praise. Listen, we'll take a break on that note. When we come back, we've got some phone lines open. Get some callers for you. 737-7587. Questions on real estate, the properties here, not just in Nashville, but the mid-state. She's the expert. We'll be back with more right after this.